So we're just looking at the back of a whitetail buck here, and I'm going to take the sinew off of this animal, some of the sinew. So some of the sinew that we're looking for here along the back straps, this is the sirloin muscle, or backstraps as some people call them. That gray sheen right there is some of the sinew, and unfortunately I've cut into it right there, so that's missing a piece there. And down here is another little piece. These are thin, papery type sinew. If you look over on this side, I can actually pull the bit of the fat off, and what's being left behind is that nice sinew here. And so if you're into archery and you like to have a sinew back bow, this would be the stuff that you'd use for that. So there's a good strong tendon right there, and then here's some more sinew, or another word for sinew is basically tendon. So let's move up the deer. We'll just go up with my hands here, heading up, and then here we have another tendon like that, and there are tendons like this all over the legs of the animal. There's one. There's one. It's kind of like the Achilles tendon that we have on our ankles. That also is sinew, and you can follow that to its end here, buried in the muscle, and you can follow it right up to there. So tendons attach bone to bone, ligaments attach muscle to muscle. So basically sinew is a tendon that attaches bone to bone somewhere inside there. And you cut that out, and then you would pound it and pulverize it between two rocks, or with a hammer if you so choose. And that's how you process the sinew. But anyways, let's work our way back down over here. Let's see if we can get this sinew off of here. So the first step I've got to do is kind of carefully work off the rest of this fat. Okay, so now we're going to try and get kind of where the whole knife is, right there along that piece, or basically right there, that whole nice long strip right from my fingers running all the way down to there. Out here it's so thin it's almost not worth it, but this bit right here is definitely worth it. So again, I'm going to just do a little poke underneath there. I had a plastic knife once that I found really good to use on this. It wasn't too sharp and it wasn't too dull, and it would work really good. Just kind of working it in there. There we go. Now I'm going to use the dull side of the knife, the back side, and just kind of scrape the meat down. Working down a little bit. I'm going to use the sharp side and just get some of that meat off. There we go. I think I'll clean it up on the table. That seemed to work really good the last time. I'm going to stop about there, and now I'm going to start going up. Now I have to saw a little bit with the sawing action just to kind of keep it moving. I see I've left a little bit behind here, so I'm going to go under there. Yeah, there we go. Try and include that piece. A little bit on the gross side, but there we go. Nice. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Now I see it's getting thinner as we go. So I'm going to just poke under. There we go, just like that. Pull down a bit. Oh, that'll be even worth saving right there. getting wider as we go up here, which is good. And pull down, roll the knife, try and get a little bit of that meat off of there. There, see, it's so paper thin there, it's almost not worth it, but anyways, we're going to just keep going. Now up here it'll start to go underneath that muscle right there. That muscle's on top of it. And so it goes. I don't want to go too much further anyways. So I'm going to just finish it off. Pretty happy with this piece that I got right here. I can actually do a bit of a scrape like this. And get quite a bit of that off. Peeling off the meat, cleaning it up, and it looks like I'll have to flip it over and do the other side. This meat will go into the sausage mix. Nice. That's cleaning up real well. And again, once I've got all that off, then it's just a matter of drying it out. Okay, so we got deer legs here, and we're going to skin this out, and we're going to get some other tendons. So you can see right off the bat, just as I'm lifting that up, there's a tendon right there. And there will be, of course, another one right in here, which is like our Achilles tendon. So, just working my way down the leg bone. If this was fresher, it's been already sitting for a few days, so I'm going to take it off with a knife. But when the carcass is still warm, you can do a lot of your peeling just by hand. But now I'm helping it with the knife a bit because it's cooled right off. All right, so underneath there you can see where my knife is pushing. There's a nice big tendon right there. And this is actually the end of it. Let's see. So once I get the hide off, then the next step will be to expose that tendon and that tendon. So that'll be our next piece. There, let's start with that. So I'm going to just expose this tendon here like that. And it peels right up. There we go. Pop it right out. Pull it down this way. Pop it right out. And we'll just cut that off right there. So looking at this tendon right now, it's still encased with a sheath. And you really want to get that sheath off if you can. So let's get this stuff out of the way. And let's see if we can't work that little sheath off of there. It's going to be a little tricky. And ooh, it's quite tenacious too, as you can see. There, see? Now you can see the knife is buried inside that sheath. And I'm just working my way down there. There we go. Nice. And that will open it up. One more little pull. And now we're starting to see the fibers in there. So there's your There's your little sinewy fiber right there. There's one. So I've broken into it, and I've just got to further go because each one of these individual little tendons in here, you can see there's two there, are also encased in their own sheath. So you really have to work to get that off. I'm going to give it a tug and see what happens there. There we go. So it's getting there. I'm going to just split it. And that way it'll dry from the inside out. There we go. Okay. Oh, there, see, there's some fibers. And again, there's that sheen of sinew. Each one of those, I mean, it'd be nice if these were very long, right? That's a pretty short thread when you think about trying to sew something. You'd have to tie many, many pieces together. So the longer ones are more desirable on the bigger animals like moose and that sort of thing. And again, we'll just let this dry out here beside the ones that we took off the back straps. And then later on, we'll pound them. You want to waste an afternoon away? Try pounding sinew. Alright, so just as a quick review, so if we look at the hide coming off like that, here's our deer foot. So right here would be like the Achilles tendon on a human. This piece right here, and so I've already cut it out. And as you can see, it pops out and there's this little groove that it was sitting in. Now that's not just one tendon, so we'll try and illustrate this. And if you look right at the end of the knife tip, hopefully the camera focuses in on that okay. We've got one bundle, two bundles, three, four. And they're all wrapped within this sheath. So, I mean, it's kind of icky. And you can stick them out like that. But we want to get that one out on its own, and that one out on its own, and those two. And then also inside here, there's additional ones that's inside this kind of fatty sheath. So in that one section from one knuckle down here to the other knuckle, there's quite a few little pieces of sinew in there. So we'll take all of those out, and those will all become useful to us. And let's just look over here. We'll swing the camera over. So here we've got the nice flat pieces that came off the back straps, those nice pieces of sinew, and that's really good for wrapping the back of a bow as far as bow and archery goes. So you can wrap the back of your bow. Very strong sinew back bow would be the result of that. And then these ones here would be pulverized into long single threads that you can use for sewing or any project, or for tying things together, or for tying arrowheads and spearheads onto shafts and that sort of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and take that one apart, and we'll just let these dry out, and in a few days they'll be rock hard. Well, not rock hard, but they'll be nice and hard. And here's some video footage of taking sinew or tendon off of a moose leg. And this is nice because the moose leg tendons are quite a bit longer than the deer tendons. And there's a nice good sized piece right there. So here's a heads up on the next videos in this series. This was video number 1, removing the sinew from an animal. Video number 2 will be stripping out the sinew into smaller, easier to handle sizes. And video number 3 will be pounding the sinew and preparing it for various projects. And step number 4 is how to sinew back a bow, and in this case a bow that I made out of Saskatoon wood. Please stay tuned for those videos as they will be posted very soon. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel to receive notifications when other videos are released. And check out our website at www.natureliveadventures.com.